Registered representatives offer securities through Securities America, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Financial advisors offer advisory services through Securities America Advisors, Inc. Forest Hills Financial, Inc. and Securities America are separate entities. This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steinler.
Good morning. Welcome to Keep Your Money Show. I'm Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Bart Steinler. Bart, how you doing this early June morning?
I'm doing great. It's another $1 million morning.
Indeed it is. This is Keeping Your Money Show, where we cut through all the bulls, the booyahs, the bells, whistles, honks, and horns to get you to the information that actually helps you move towards retirement. If you are tuning in, maybe you just got done listening to the grilling guys and you're getting ready to square off for the rest of your day. This is Keeping Your Money Show, where we cut through all the bulls and booyahs, and you got to get here to learn about all the things you need to do, right?
That's right, because you listen to the grilling guys and then you listen to Keeping Your Money Show, and you know that if you follow both of our instructions, you'll be able to buy prime cut in retirement for your grilling days.
That is so true. There you go.
You don't have to like be grilling, horse meat or roadkill or anything like that. You can be buying the good stuff.
So you can hear about what you want to buy on their show, then listen to us to figure out how you actually can afford to.
That's right.
So that's a pretty good gig. That's a pretty good deal of way to go. So, all right. So anyways, we got a great show on deck today. We're going to talk about, can I take my 401k and buy a house or any other types of products like property like that? Something we hear a lot from people. So we're going to address the pros and cons of that.
Had that call this week. 6
reasons Americans don't have life insurance and why all 6 of them are absolutely bogus. 8 major ways the new Secure Act could impact your retirement plan if you're not familiar with that. A lot of legislation being bantered around and how that's going to affect your retirement. Nearly 1/3 of Americans have no idea about this key retirement benefit, and it's costing them thousands. We're going to talk about that as well. All that and more here on the Keeping Your Money Show. If you want to join the show, you always can. We love to hear from everyone listening. You can call us at 888-98-MONEY. That's 888-986-6639. We don't take calls on the air, but someone does answer the phone 24 hours a day, and we would love to hear from you, whether it's all the things you like that I say, all the things that you don't like that Bart says. Your feedback is always appreciated. You can also follow us on social media. If you're not already, just find us at facebook.com/keepingyourmoney or twitter.com/keepingmoney. And of course, if you miss any part of the show, you can always find it on our website. Go to keepingyourmoney.com or any of our podcast partners. Just search the Keeping Your Money Show on whatever your favorite podcast program is. I apologize if I sniff into the microphone. I'm trying not to, but I do have a slight cold, so I'll do my best to not share that through your car radio.
Be thankful you're not standing across the table from him like I am.
I'm only coughing at you in the commercial break, so
okay.
It's fine. So let's talk a little bit about this idea, whether it's your 401k, it's your IRA, whatever. I wanted to mention this article. This article came up in Investopedia. It comes up all the time. We hear people call all the time. Can I use my fill in the blank, Roth IRA, 401k, 403b to buy an investment property, down payment on my house, some land that I want to buy next to me because, I don't want anyone else to buy it and build some monster house next to me? The short answer is many times, yes, you can. But that also doesn't answer the real question, and that is, should you do it? And there are some real major negatives to doing that.
Yeah, and if you don't want to listen to all the reasoning behind it, just know the answer is no. You should not do this, okay? We'll cut right to the point. Now, if you want to understand why not, that's a whole nother issue. The why not is really something that's called opportunity cost. Because if that money that is set aside for retirement is taken out and used for something else, the growth that you're missing in that money over a period of 20, 25 years is significant, and it's going to mean that you have a lot less income in retirement. The whole purpose for putting money away in a Roth, in a 401k, in an IRA, in a 403b, in any of those plans is so that when you get to the point that you're not working anymore, that money that you've accumulated is going to replace as much of your income as possible so that you can have money to live those 20 or 30 years past the time that you quit working without having to scrimp and save and worry about where the next dollar is going to come from.
Well, and let's talk about these a little bit, because each one's a little bit different. So the first one is, can you take money out to buy your house? Okay. Here's the thing. If you need to take money out of your Roth IRA, your 401k, you shouldn't buy your house. You can't afford it.
Right.
That's all there is to it. If that's the only way you can afford it, I'm going to break it to you. You can't afford it. Sometimes we get wrapped up and we really want something, right? So we try to justify how we can do it. And the reality is we can't really justify it unless we do it this way. Well, that's a terrible way to do it. So if the only way you can afford that is to take money out of something that has no business paying for your house, then you can't afford it. And the reality is you're probably going to potentially put yourself up a creek if there are any problems. So I've heard people say, well, I take a loan out of my 401k. I'll pay it back over the next 5 years. I'll use that money as the down payment. Then we can afford the house. Well, here's the question. If buying a house was so important to you, why over the last 5 years haven't you saved the additional money that you're now going to be paying into your 401k to pay off the loan? If you can do it today as a loan payment, you can do it today as a savings. There's no difference except that you're not obligated if you can't keep up with the savings. I think sometimes we convince ourselves that we can do something that we've never been able to do up till this point simply because we want to justify doing something like purchasing a home.
Yeah. And a lot of times the reality of life is that if there's something you want really bad, sometimes you have to sacrifice other things to get it. And the reason I
your
say
retirement.
Right. It should not be your retirement. And I'm thinking of a couple I talked to a couple weeks ago, a young couple, very smart. They both have good jobs. They're both making, pretty good money and stuff like that. And they really want to buy a house, and they found one, and it's quite expensive, and they can only put 5% down because this house is so expensive. Well, the same couple has taken probably an overseas trip every year for the last 3 years. Okay,
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. You got the money to pay for it, and you want to go take a trip, you go take a trip by all means. I want you to enjoy your life, but just realize that if you don't save up enough money for a down payment on a house, you probably can't afford the house. And the statistics show that if you don't put 20% down on a home, the likelihood that you're going to be in a foreclosure is higher.
Right.
The other thing is, if you're not willing to make the sacrifices before you buy the home, you have to realize that once you make the home, you've put yourself into a long-term commitment. There's going to be home repairs, there's going to be taxes, there's going to be furniture to buy, there's going to be a lot of other expenses that you don't have as a renter. And those things start stacking up, it's going to affect your lifestyle because there's not going to be as much money to spend on fun stuff.
Right.
So if you can't cut the fun stuff out ahead of time to save up for the down payment, chances are you're not going to want to cut the fun stuff out when you actually own the home.
It's really very similar to when somebody says, I'll be able to live on $40,000 less than I live on now when I retire, but they don't do it now. If you can't do it now, you're probably not going to do it when you retire. So, I mean, you're really only fooling yourself. You're really only trying to pull the wool over your own eyes. Another example of this is we hear a lot of times, well, I want to diversify. And in doing so, I'm going to take money from my IRA and I'm going to buy a piece of property, or I'm going to buy a rental property, or I'm going to buy an apartment building or some agricultural land, or, something like that. Mm-hmm. And there's been a lot of talk of that on the radio, use your IRA to buy this, We're not CPAs, so I'm not going to go into all the tax ramifications, but I will tell you there are significant tax considerations to think about before you ever do any of that. And the other thing to think about with that is, depending on what you're looking at buying, a lot of property has appreciated significantly right now. If you go out and you purchase something and you're not able to see a return on that, and that's locked up in your qualified accounts, your IRAs and things like that, it's going to have an impact on your overall ability to retire. Not to mention just even things like how the income comes off that property and stuff like that is completely different. because you now have it in a tax deferred type of account.
Right. So a lot of times when you buy income property, some of the things that you buy for that income property and some of the work you do on it is actually a deduction, and it can help you on your taxes. But if that's owned as part of your IRA, that's probably not going to be the case.
And then the last thing that I've heard with that is, well, that's okay. What we're actually going to do is we're just going to cash out our IRA or our 401k. We're going to pay the taxes and penalty, and it's okay because I'm telling you, I'm getting such a good deal on this, whatever, that in the long run, I'm going to come out way ahead. Very, very unlikely to be true, because if you're going to pay a 10% penalty plus income tax of anywhere from 25% and up, you are starting in a huge hole on what this new investment has to make you. And on top of that, even if this investment did make you money, you will pay taxes on those gains as well. So if you think you're getting a steal on a lake house, and then 5 years from now, you're going to turn around and sell that, you already took, call it a 35% hit when you took the money out, and now you're going to pay taxes on the gains of what you paid. It's not going to probably work out as well as you think it is.
And I've had people come to me and talk about doing something like that and saying, well, I don't want to get a loan. Okay.
Right.
Well, why not? I
Right.
mean,
if it's such a great deal, get a loan.
If it's a great deal, get a loan, because getting a loan is actually going to be a lot less expensive than paying the combination of paying the penalty and the taxes and losing the growth in your retirement account.
Right. Your retirement assets are for retirement. Your retirement assets are not for the lake house you've always wanted to own, the condo you think is a really good deal, the agricultural property you want to buy so you could go hunting on it. I mean, I can go on and on and on. That's not what it's for. It's for retirement. And, don't buy into the idea of, there's some tricky ways we can access this. You don't want to access it. It's difficult to get a hold of that money on purpose. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. It's for retirement. So, all right, coming up, we're going to talk about the 6 reasons you may not have life insurance and why they're pretty much bogus right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
It's never too late to plan for your future, and the Keeping Your Money Show can help. Our team of advisors can answer questions you may have about investing your money. Through Securities America, Inc., our advisors offer a diversified and comprehensive list of quality products and services. Call the Keeping Your Money Show at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to schedule your free consultation.